Welcome back, blade aficionados, to this old sword blade reviews. And what do we have here today? We have another Trevisa knife, Trivisa. Of course, you can read that in the title. And the interesting thing is, first of all, this is a quality knife for a little over $100. Out of S35VN. No. Is it? Yes, it is. Oh, I thought it might be 154. It is S35VN. We're going to verify that in a moment. But here's the story. I already have the Lynx, and this is the model Lynx-03G. I have the Lynx-03, and I thought, well, I'm getting the same knife except it's S35VN. And it's got a blue-gray handle. But that's not the case, and we'll see that in a minute. They've slightly revised both the blade profile and the handle profile. So, there you go. It is a liner locking knife with a very sharply defined Wharncliffe style blade, except we can't properly call it a Wharncliffe because it both angles up and has a very slight curve to the blade. It is a beautiful satin finish with a swedge. We have a bead blast on the spine. And one viewer of a video I posted on this before this review thought that this was just a design marking on the blade, but no, it is a thumb stud, and this is both a thumb stud and a flipper knife, as we'll see in a moment. Looks like you can transfer the thumb stud to the left side for you lefties, but you can't transfer the clip. It's a titanium clip, and it is right side tip up only. Sorry about that. We have a very nicely milled and contoured blue-gray G10. I kind of like this color as far as anything other than black. And occasionally I like white G10, and I like some of that swirled Damascus G10. There on the pivot we have the very nice Trevisa logo. And this company's hitting it out of the park. Their quality is right in there with some of the best, shall we say, best tech. And probably a notch or so above stuff like petrified fish. Definitely well done. Centered blade. We've got a fair amount. Yeah, it's pretty good blade to handle ratio. I guess if you're really critical, you may see that that's ever so slightly off, and I haven't adjusted the pivot, so we could probably tune that up by doing that. Now, let's see if I can get where I want to be. There's the thumb stud action. It's beautiful. This is sharply defined, stacked, layered look thumb stud. Sort of triangular shape, but not. Jimping's effective. It didn't look like it at first because it's a little on the shallow side, but there's some sharp shoulders in there where they cut it. And although it's a very piercy blade, we've got a fair amount of blade thickness out to the point. We're going to measure it up in a moment. Nice relief here for the release. Running on bearings, very smooth and sort of hydraulic. It's a word we like to use lately. This is definitely a titanium clip, and it's definitely steel liners. The liners are substantial, as you can see, not on the thin side at all. And our lockup is coming in, I would say, right about at 20%. So room to wear, plenty. Very smooth operator. All right, let's measure it up, and we can go over some other talking points about this knife in a moment. Overall length. We're going to call that just shy of 8.5. We'll call that 8.4 inches. And we've got a blade that's coming in about 3.65, cutting edge about the same. And I had to go to a new caliper here, which is heavy, with steel jaws instead of plastic. Let's look at millimeters first, if we can get this. And we've got 3.6 millimeters. And if I switch this to inches, that translates to call that 0.144 inches, shall we say, about the handle. And we've got a 0.587. We'll round that up when we put it in the text. And how about a weight? Got a weight of the Lynx-03G. Just doesn't want a 0. Well, we'll slap it on there anyway. We get, well, we're not getting a reading, are we? Let's try this all over again. Sorry to hold things up here. And I could probably have gotten that off the web. 4.77, we'll call it, 4.77 ounces. So that always beckons the question, is there weight relieving? It's under 5 inches, or under 5 ounces. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Thick liners, though. So it's got a good heft to it. It's not a featherweight. It's a fairly large size knife. I got about 3/4 of an inch left over there. Good jimping. I can put this in a number of different holds. I can place my thumb on the back. I can go pretty nicely in point down, edge out, with my knuckle kind of relatively comfortably folding over that rounded corner on the pommel. As I said earlier, some really nice finishing on the blade. And let's verify, I said I was going to verify that. That is S35VN. There you go right there. So quite a jump from the 14C28N of this one. And here's where we're going to do some comparisons. This is the original Lynx, Trevisa Lynx 03, but this is the 03. This is the 03G. And I'm not sure if G is just for gray or whether it designates some other changes. Obviously, you can see we've got a different blade profile there, a little straighter here, a little more pronounced radical clip to it, whereas we have a little less of a clip and we've got more of a harpoon going on here, whereas this is a straight back, straight spine until we reach that clip. As far as the overall length goes, they're dead on the same, but let's look at the handles. And again, the black handled one is 14C28N. We have much different, taller handle on the G model and totally different profile, whereas we've got this pointier pommel with it being clipped down here, and we have more of a drop there with a kind of a swale in the handle. And if we look at those in the open position, so this is a flipper only. This is a flipper, and by the way, the action's really nice. Let's take a closer look at those handles. Much different. So a little taller in here, a little narrower in here. And we've got a taller blade pretty much right in this region than on the Trevisa Lynx 03. So black G10, blue-gray G10, S35VN, 14C28N, and a lighter knife overall. Let's see if we can actually get a weight on that one. I did a review on the original model that I picked up, and you can get all the salient details of this knife from that review. So here we've got only a 3.8 ounce knife, significantly lighter. So that is interesting. And by the way, I was going to do this earlier, but I'll do it now. Here's the box that they come in, kind of a universal fit for a few of their knives. Got these little tongues that stick out here. It's a dense foam. And each one comes with this little card of authenticity and a date. And performance standards, yada yada, Trevisa information, probably warranty, but then they give you a nice microfiber cloth, and I think I lost it somewhere. Lost it long ago anyway. Oh, here it is. They give you this pouch, so should you need a little microfiber pouch, you got that too. Taking a closer look at this, some really fine work. And how about the action flipping it? Hard if not impossible to fail. It just breaks cleanly. Same thing here with the thumb stud. A little bit of pressure. Oh, I'm too close to my reflector, that's why. Yeah, you could fail it that way, but with most thumb studs you can. If you wanted to roll it out, you can do that. But give it a little bump and flies right out. Beautiful knife. Whether you want a working knife, EDC, with a fine tip, again, and we've got a little thinner blade stock on this guy and a little finer at the tip, because it's swedged all the way out almost. Hard to go wrong. I did a cleaver style blade from Trevisa as well not that long ago. I did a review on it. You can check that out. So thus far, 3 Trevisa knives, and I think that they're doing a bang up job turning these out. As good as any in the price range, and maybe a little bit better. Oh yeah, well, before we leave, against the Griptilian for size, it is about ½ inch longer. Against the Rat 1, let's see how the Rat 1 stacks up. The Rat 1's about ½ inch longer. So the Lynx is not a small knife, and it is a nicely featured knife out of premium materials. So hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe. I'll be back soon.